The following is a very true experience. I've never actually written it down before, and I don't know if anyone has experienced it either. This happened between 1989 and 1990, and I was about the age of 4 years old. To this day, I still get chills thinking about it, and I wonder if any way it changed me. My parents had a house in the Inland Empire of Southern California, and at the time my brother hadn't been born yet, so I was still the only child. To give you a layout, my parents' house was a 2-story house located in a cul-de-sac. On the bottom floor, there was 2 bedrooms, a bathroom, the living room, and the kitchen. The second floor was the master bedroom and just the bath. All you could see from the street was the garage and one of the bedroom windows on the bottom floor and the window of my mom's bathroom on the second floor. To get to the front door, you had to walk along the cement pathway that ran along the side of the house. You had to pass the first bedroom that you can see from the street. Then you pass the bathroom window and then another bedroom window, and then you would be at the front door. The backyard was beyond that point. My bedroom at the time was the bedroom next to the front door. Now for some reason, my blinds weren't completely down to the bottom of the window. There was about a 6-inch gap with nothing covering it. I was pretty young, so I didn't really care about it too much. The bed was in the middle of the wall across from my bedroom door, and to the left was the window. According to my mom, this all happened right before midnight. My mother was asleep in her room upstairs, and my dad was a policeman that worked nights in another city. I was fast asleep in my room, and out of nowhere, I suddenly awoke, looking up at the ceiling. I don't know what woke me, or if I just popped awake on my own. After my eyes adjusted to the night lights of the bedroom, I sat up and I started looking around my room. All of a sudden, something caught my eye at the window, in the gap. First, I thought it was the streetlight reflecting on the window, but I knew for a fact there was only one streetlight, and what I was looking at was 2 obvious glowing spots that were spaced apart as if it was on someone's face. Then I thought, is that a cat looking at me? And yes, I vividly remember thinking these things, trying to debunk this at 4 years old. I'd remembered then that my cat Chelsea's eyes would reflect at night, but this looked different than that. The cat's eyes would almost have different colors when reflecting. These were 2 very solid, bright white, glowing eyes, looking straight at me. I just stared at them frozen stiff, trying to make sense of what I was seeing. I couldn't see a face at all. The eyes were just so bright that nothing else stood out. That void, or face, around the eyes looked blacker than the night. I thought again, well, if this is a cat, how could a cat be big like a person? And why would a cat stand up to stare in my bedroom? The curiosity got me, and I went for it. I flipped my covers off, turned my little 4-year-old body towards the window, and put my feet on the floor. This is the moment the creepiest thing happened, and it will forever be burned into my brain. I got off the bed and got on my knees to get a closer look at this so-called cat. When at this very moment, the faceless pair of glowing white eyes began to slowly and steadily tilt to the side. Its eyes were still locked on me, not blinking once. The feeling of dread and fear shot through my body. Completely terrified, I burst into tears and booked it down the hallway, through the living room, and straight upstairs to tell my mother. Although I was going as fast as I could, it felt like forever. When I got to my mom, I was so upset that I couldn't get any words out. Tears were streaming down my face, and my mom had become seriously concerned at this point. She was able to calm me down just enough for me to get out the words, there's white eyes looking at me through my window on the bottom. Stutter crying hard. Are you sure? My mom asked. I cry out, yes. She didn't even go down to look. She just called the police. I don't remember the time it took for them to arrive or what they said because I finally fell asleep in my mother's bed. I do remember faintly waking up to a knock at the door and my mom going to open it. The cop spoke to her and I hear her say, "Okay, thank you, good night," and she shut the door. Did they find it, Mommy? I asked, half asleep. No, honey, he said they couldn't find anyone. My mom told me softly. It's okay now, just try to go back to sleep. It's safe to say that the next day, my whole window was covered. Years fast forward, and I'm in middle school now. Every now and then, I would think about that night. Sometimes, I wondered if that moment was real, if those eyes were really there. Those unforgettable, white eyes. One day, a random thought came up, and I asked my mom if she remembered that night. She told me, yes, of course. Why? I don't know. I was just wondering, I guess. Then my mom proceeds to say, well, I never told you this, but when the deputy came out that night, he told me they made it a priority to get to our house as soon as they could, because not very long before I called 911, they received another call from someone else reporting that someone was looking through their window in our same neighborhood. Hearing that sent chills down my spine, and to this day, I wonder who or what was looking at me that night. For starters, my name is Jade. I'm currently 12 and live in Colorado. I live in a neighborhood with low to no crime. This happened to me about a year ago while I was doing my nightly routine of showering, brushing my teeth, and going to bed. While I was getting dressed, I heard a loud bang on my bathroom window. As loud as it was, I brushed it off and continued. Before I go on, let me explain the layout of my bathroom. When you walk into the bathroom, you see the bathtub right away. To the right of you, there's the counter and the sink, and next to the counter, there's the toilet. The small window in my bathroom is right above my shower. So as I was saying, I heard a loud bang on my window. At first, I thought it was my mom trying to scare me, but when I walked out of my bathroom, I saw my mom sitting on the couch. In confusion, I asked her if she had been in the backyard, but in the middle of my sentence, we both heard a loud bang on the sliding glass door. My mom told me to get into the laundry room. My laundry room had no windows. My aunt then got a weapon and walked outside. My aunt came back a minute later and told us she had seen footprints leading up to the electric box. I then got sick to my stomach, realizing the person was probably watching me shower. And when I started getting dressed, they banged on the window. Several months after this incident, we've had people jump our fence in the middle of the night and walk around the front of our house. I now have a fear of taking showers at night. But to the person who is watching me take one, please, let's not meet again.